He was absolutely deadly in the mid-range in this game, Davian.
So
Welcome
everything
back.
cut off.
Yeah, done. Oh, brilliant.
Like everything cut off.
This is not going to go
Like
well.
everything. Awesome.
I could just start again. Should I just start
Yeah,
again?
yeah. Happy Sunday.
Happy Sunday, guys! It's most definitely Sunday. Definitely Sunday. Actually, no, I'm lying. It's Monday, but the All-Star game happened. So it works out in our favor. Let's start from Sunday, though, Davian, the last Sunday. So you had LA versus Golden State Warriors, where you had LA absolutely dominate Golden State Warriors. The game was pretty much over in the first half. LeBron had 19. Curry had just 16. And Draymond only had 2 assists, which is relevant because he had like 19 in the last game. He also twisted his ankle. Bit of a factor. Then you had Milwaukee versus the LA Clippers. You had Giannis, his 36 points, 17 of which coming in the fourth. Kawhi had 25, and Paul George had a measly 16. He's had a run of not very good games lately. Then you had Boston versus Washington, where Bradley Beal scored 46 points. Tatum had hit a game winner as part of his 31. And Westbrook had 24 points. In one of the last possessions, Bradley Beal was inbounded the ball. Boston didn't foul him and ended up pushing him out of bounds, which pretty much ended the game for them. Charlotte versus Sacramento. You had the Hornets erasing an 8-point deficit in 53 seconds. PJ Washington scored a career high 42 points. LaMelo had 24 and 12 assists. And then for Sacramento, you had Fox scoring 20, Hield scoring 30. Then you had Phoenix versus Minnesota. You had Booker scoring 43 points. He was absolutely deadly from the mid-range. You had 24 from Anthony Edwards, and Cat scored 21. Then, lastly on Sunday, you had New York Knicks against the Detroit Pistons. The Knicks absolutely dominated to get a three-game winning streak, and they ended up going fourth in the East in this game. Yeah! Knicks are winning. Randall had 25 points and RJ Barrett had 21. I feel like RJ Barrett's gone under the radar lately.
Yeah, I bet.
He's actually one of the most successful products from that 2020 draft class.
For real.
At the moment. Then Monday, you had San Antonio Spurs against Brooklyn. Murray ended up forced in OT. But you had 30-plus triple-double with Harden with 0 turnovers. He had a 30-plus. The first, I think, this has never happened since we actually started tracking turnovers.
Wow.
A 30-point triple-double with no turnovers. It's never happened since we tracked turnovers. So it could have happened before, but we don't know.
We have no idea.
Then Kyrie scored 27. DeMar DeRozan had 22. He's had a run of such good games lately. It was almost just sad to see him not make the All-Star game. I would argue he probably should have. But this was the first time Brooklyn has won in San Antonio since 2002. Yeah. Charlotte versus Portland. No, not really. They were shit. Charlotte versus Portland. You had LaMelo scoring 30 points. But Blazers had a team record, 24 threes. Melo, the real Melo, had 29 points. Lillard had 23. Portland ended up losing their 4-game losing streak. There's too many losings in that sentence for a team that won a game. Then you had the New Orleans Pelicans taking on the Utah Jazz. The New Orleans Pelicans ended up holding off the Jazz late. Zion had 26. Ingram had also 26. Lonzo had 23. Donovan Mitchell had 21. And Bogdanovich had 31. Utah have been losing lately. Interesting stuff. Dallas and Orlando. Luka had a near triple-double with 33 points, 9 assists, 10 rebounds. And this game pushed the Mavs above 500, which is stark contrast to the beginning of the season when they were on losing streaks and losing to really bad teams like Sacramento and stuff like that. Vucevic had 29. Aaron Fournier scored 26. And then lastly on Monday, you had Philly beating the Indiana Pacers. Doug McDermott loses his tooth trying to go for a jump ball, I guess. Loose ball. And then you had 18 from Simmons, 24 from Embiid, and 26 from Shake Milton. Pacers ended up losing. This was their 4th loss in a row. Then you had LA versus Phoenix. LeBron had 38, but it just wasn't enough, despite the fact that it wasn't enough to take on to beat Phoenix, who, despite having Booker ejected with 12 points for absolute bullshit reasons. Did you actually see it? He bounced past the ball to the ref. That's all he did. He just bounced past it to the ref, and he got kicked out. He got given a tech for it, which was his second tech, and then ejected. Absolute bullshit. On this day, also, just before this, Atlanta fired coach Pierce, and Nate McMillan was made interim coach. They ended up beating Miami in this game, 17 points from Collins, 18 from Young. All starters were above 10 plus. However, there was no Jimmy Butler. I think Miami's record with Jimmy is like 18-4 or something like that.
Wow.
They're really good with Jimmy, but without Jimmy, they have a losing record. They're like 4-10 or something. I don't know. It's something like that. Boston versus LA Clippers. You had Kemba, who saves Boston again, who are now on a 3-game winning streak. No Kawhi, but Paul George ended up scoring 32 points in his absence. You only had 14 from Tatum, but 25 from Walker. It'd be really nice if Kemba, Brown, and Tatum could all have a good game at the same time.
Yeah.
Then you had Denver versus Milwaukee. Jokic had a triple-double, 37 points, 11 assists, 10 rebounds. They blow out the Bucks. You also had 24 from Murray. Giannis had 27, and Middleton had 20. Then on Wednesday, you had Sacramento versus LA. You had Hill scoring 29 points and gets... They were trailing the entire game until the last minute, and then they beat them.
Wait, what?
There was no Sacramento.
Oh, okay.
They were trailing the entire game until the last minute, and then they beat LA. There was no LeBron, though.
Oh, that game? Yeah, I didn't catch up with that one. Oh.
Then you had Brooklyn versus Houston, which was Harden's return to Houston. He had a triple-double, 29, 14 assists, 10 rebounds. Kyrie had 24, Wall had 36, and 33 from Oladipo, who's trying to look very good because he might be on his way out of Houston. There are a few landing spots. Then you had Philly versus Utah. This one was touted as one, this was a MVP caliber game from Embiid. Donovan Mitchell was ejected. And after he actually said that officials officiate their games because they're a small market team. Officiate their games differently because they're a small top market team. Which I don't know where I stand on that. I'd need to look into it a bit more. But yeah, Embiid scored 40 and he forced an overtime with a contested 3. Donovan Mitchell himself had 33. Then you had Portland versus Golden State Warriors. Dame hit a game winner in his 22 points. Curry had 35 and Carmelo Anthony had 22. He's had a string of really good games.
Yeah.
Then you had Indiana. Yeah, he was hoodie mellow for this week. Indiana versus Cleveland. You had TJ McConnell getting a triple-double with steals for Indy. He had 16 points, 13 assists, and 10 steals. He also had 0 fouls, and he was 8 from 8 from the field. You could almost say he had a perfect game.
I mean, almost. Yeah, that's... Wow. That's...
unreal.
That's a great stat line right there. That's...
That assist to turnover ratio is off the charts.
Yep.
Field goal percentage, 100%. Then you had, on Thursday, we had the All-Star Draft, which happened. After which... I didn't actually see it. I saw Giannis' reaction. I saw it. Yeah, Giannis' reaction was a cold game, and we will see how that game went. Washington versus LA Clippers, you had Bradley Beal scoring 33 and a late rally to beat Kawhi led LA Clippers with who had 22 points. There was no Paul George, unfortunately. Russell Westbrook had 27 points, 11 assists, and 9 rebounds. LA Clippers are now on a 3-game losing streak after this game. Then you had the Milwaukee versus Memphis Grizzlies. This was Drew Holiday's return, and he scored a game winner and 15 points. Giannis had 26. Boston versus Toronto. Kemba had 15. Tatum had 27. But Boucher for Toronto scored 30 points. This is like the second time he's shown up in my little highlight book here. Then you had Miami against New Orleans Pelicans. Jimmy Butler had 29 points and a dominant fourth quarter. However, there was no Zion. It's also worth mentioning that Kelly Olynyk had 18 points, 10 rebounds, and 7 assists. Right, and then on Thursday, you had Detroit buying out Blake Griffin.
Yeah.
At the time when I wrote this, Brooklyn were obviously favorites. We know now that Blake Griffin has actually gone to the Brooklyn Nets. But apparently you had both LA teams, Miami and Golden State, also in the mix. We'll go over that a little later, but just to put his season stats for this season are 12 points in 31 minutes a game, 36% shooting, which is the second worst in the league, and 31% from three, which is also the second worst. And he's also not dunked since 2019.
That's weird to me, by the way.
Yeah. Also, Mike Conley was made an all-star due to the fact that Devin Booker was injured.
Mm-hmm.
Well done for him. He had the longest streak of not making of seasons without an all-star. There was like a meme going on, but he managed to make it. Well done to him. I feel like it should have been DeMar DeRozan, so I feel like he was picked as a little, like as a, was it sympathy?
Pity. Yeah.
Little bit of pity. But yes, that's it. Hello, what do you think? Right, yes, hello, what do I think about the new Space Jam movie? Well, I think it looks great. I'm excited to go watch it. I don't give a shit about Lola Bunny.
Oh my god, yeah, the Lola Bunny hate thing is weird. But no, I mean, I feel like for people like us, Space Jam, like, are we looking forward to this film now? Like, we're ready.
Space Jam is a cinematic masterpiece.
Yeah, like
the original is cinematic masterpiece. I'm looking forward to this one. Yeah. God forbid they make a rabbit less sexy, though. God forbid.
It's the reaction of like, this isn't the Lola Bunny I know. Like, bro.
Is it? I feel like when anyone makes that kind of argument, I'm like, is this you coming out as a furry now? Is this?
You like CGI Looney Tunes? Yeah.
The CGI is pretty good. I'm not gonna lie, the CGI is pretty good.
But yeah, I don't have any strong Lola Bunny, but no, I'm looking forward to it. I mean, I think this is LeBron from Expecting Greatness. This is going to be,
I'm going to be very curious to see how LeBron James is acting in this. I want to see his acting. I hope it's not as bad as, like, you remember, I think it was 2K14 when they had NBA players doing voiceovers, and it's like the worst thing ever. It's literally like the worst. Like, you had Josh Smith, like,
oh god,
I mean, if you want to go to the ball, and then if you want to come, we can.
Oh god,
we can hang out,
that's something.
Yeah. You did great, man. Yeah, is some shit like that. Like, the most charismatic person in that voiceover was fucking what's his name, Zach Randolph. The movie's gonna have like dollar budget, so it's gonna be better than Tom and Jerry. I don't know about that, bro. Tom and Jerry. That's some OGs right there. Some OGs. Don't know about that. Are they coming out? Is there a Tom and Jerry movie coming out or something? Like, David, you can't be heard. You've been muted. Well done, Dino. Your take has made Davian speechless. Oh no, he's back. He's back. He's coming back.
Connection to my mic.
Ah, right.
Also,
anyway, right.
Before we finish, do you see a problem?
Do I see a problem?
I'm wearing a do-rag in it, so my green screen doesn't acknowledge it.
Oh my! Is it a green do-rag?
Yellow, but apparently yellow enough that it counts as a mask. So,
oh, okay.
Now my forehead's shorter. I've got a 3 head. I like this. It's great.
Woo! Yeah, just right. Okay. Right. Dino, we can ask more. Dino, you sir. We will answer more questions later. It already came out. I'm surprised you never heard of that. Sorry for my English. I'm not from USA. We're not from the USA either. We're from England. We're from England. So, don't worry about it. USA don't speak English either.
Your English is better than NASA's, so I understand you. It's fine. Don't worry.
Yeah, it's better than a lot of people. But yeah, we will carry on. So we can answer more questions that you have later on, but right now it's time to go to a segment of Chris Explains, and it's gonna come with some fun All-Star facts, Davian. Some fun All-Star facts as well. But first, I will go through the story of the NBA All-Star Game. So the NBA All-Star Game is a basketball exhibition game hosted every February, mostly, by the NBA February, and showcases 24 of the league's star players. It is featured event of NBA All-Star Weekend, a 3-day event mostly, from Friday to Sunday. The All-Star Game was first played in the Boston Garden on March the 2nd, 1951. Even though the All-Star Game is a showcase and it's for the fans and just feels feels different. Oh wait, no. Oh, this is different. I skipped a bit. The idea of holding an All-Star Game was conceived during a meeting between NBA President Maurice Podoloff and NBA Publicity Director Haskell Cohen and Boston Celtics owner Walter A. Brown. At that time, the basketball world had just been rocked by the college basketball point shaving scandal. So, in order to regain public attention to the league, Cohen suggested that the league to host an exhibition game featuring the league's best players, similar to Major League Baseball's All-Star Game. Although most people, including Polodoff, was pessimistic about the idea, Brown remained confident and it was a success. And he even offered to host the game and to cover all expenses or potential losses incurring in the game. The first All-Star Game was hosted in Boston, as I said, where the Eastern All-Star team defeated the Western All-Star team 111-94, which back then was a pretty high-scoring game, I think, maybe? I don't know, it's fluctuated. Boston Celtics' Ed Macauley was named as the first NBA All-Star Game's most valuable player, which is now known as a Kobe Bryant Award. And I've gone back down to the bottom. And the All-Star Game became a success, drawing an attendance of 10,094 people, which doesn't seem that much now, but it was much higher than the season's average attendance at the time of 3,500. It's almost 3 times the attendance it made. In 2010, the NBA All-Star Game set an attendance record for the basketball game with 108,713 people, which attended the Cowboys Stadium in Arlington, Texas. So let's talk more about the starting lineups. So at the moment, the starting lineup for each squad is selected by a combination of fan, player, and media voting, while head coaches choose the reserves and 7 players from their respective conferences. So each side has a 12-man roster. Coaches are not allowed to vote for their own players, and if a selected player cannot participate by injury, the NBA commissioner selects a replacement. That's why Devin Booker joined in. That's why Sabonis joined in because of injuries to AD and who didn't make it on the eastern side. Damn,
KD.
KD, yes, of course. Yeah, of course. Duh. Yes. However, also worth mentioning was Joel Embiid and Ben Simmons didn't make the All-Star game because of COVID protocols. It sucks for them, really. Right. So yeah,
Because their
and
barber
also
had COVID.
yes. How funny is that? They had a barber.
My favorite story of the week. I'm not
Barber
gonna lie.
Sorry, man, your barber's got COVID, so you can't do the All-Star game. Imagine being that barber. Like you single-handedly stop Ben Simmons and Joel Embiid going into the All-Star game. At least it was one player on each team missing, so it kind of worked out. You had Mike Conley join in as well after Devin Booker was injured. Right. So, starting in 2018, the leading vote getters of each conference are designated as team captains, which, interestingly enough, LeBron has been since. They can choose from a pool of all-star reserves to form their teams regardless of conference. LeBron James and Steph Curry became the first players to choose their teams through the new format, selecting players for the 2018 All-Star Game in a non-televised draft. But since then, due to fan interest, they have televised it. So from James and Giannis, drafted their teams live on TNT. And teams also now play for charities of their choice to help the games remain competitive. We went over the format of that last week, I think. Yeah. So, every quarter is like its own little mini game. And then they earn a certain amount of money for winning a quarter. And then at the end, the sum of the last 3 quarters is added up. And then the first team to score 25 points plus the highest value of either team wins. This today, so yesterday, LeBron's team were leading. They had 155 points by the end of the third quarter. So they had the winning team would have to make 170. Right. The head coach of each team with the best record, the head coach of the team with the best record in each conference is chosen to lead their respective conferences in the All-Star game, with a prohibition against consecutive appearances known as the Riley Rule. It was created after LA Lakers coach Pat Riley earned the right to coach the Western Conference team 8 times in 9 seasons between 1982 and 1990. The coach of the team with the next best record gets to coach instead. But I believe this year there was 2 new ones. I think you had Doc Rivers for the East and you had Quincy Snyder for the West, which is interesting. Right, so that's pretty much the history of that. So, Damien, I'm going to give you some fun facts, right? Some fun little facts. Oh, in fact, we'll go over some records first. Let's go over some records. So we'll go legally game leaders. So it's Anthony Davis who has the most points in an All-Star game with 52. You have Magic Johnson, who has the most assists in an All-Star game with 22 in 1984. You have Paul George, who had the most 3-point field goals with 9. I'm pretty sure Curry might have beaten that last night. I'm not entirely sure, but that. Another interesting one is offensive rebounds. Davian, do you want to guess who it is? Offensive rebounds? You won't get it. I'll give you a clue. It's not a center It's not a center, it's not a power forward, and it's not a small forward.
What the fuck?
It's a guard with the most offensive rebounds.
Klay Thompson?
No, it's Kobe Bryant. Kobe has the most offensive rebounds.
fuck
10
off.
in 2011.
Of course.
But most offensive rebounds with 19 goes to Dikembe Mutombo in 2001. Most blocks in an All-Star game goes to Kareem Abdul-Jabbar with 6 in 1980. And most steals in an All-Star game goes to Rick Barry in 1975 with the Golden State Warriors, which is interesting. But how about over the entire All-Stars? So who has the most points in All-Star history? It's LeBron. No? Yeah, it's LeBron, who has 389. Who has the most minutes? I think you'll find it's LeBron again. But however, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar he's level. Is he level? I think he's one behind Kareem Abdul-Jabbar in games. I think Kareem Abdul-Jabbar has 18 games. He's also the oldest player to be selected in an NBA game, by the way, at 41. Yeah. So there's that. But now, those are boring facts. I'm going to give you some really fun ones, Davian. Right. So, some fun ones. Paul Pierce has the most All-Star appearances without ever being selected as a starter with 10. He's been to 10 appearances. He's never started. 11 players share the not-so-fun fact of being voted to the All-Star game, but never to have scored, which includes players like AC Green and Mark Eaton, the latter of which didn't even attempt a field goal. They might be forgiven, though, as all these players had only one game to actually score in. Well, all except John Johnson, who was voted twice. However, he only played a total of 5 minutes in both those games together. So he can be forgiven. But can Bill Gabber, who was given 25 minutes in his one All-Star appearance, to put up a goose egg? Then, even though the All-Star game is a showcase and it's for the fans and it just feels different, it is still subject to NBA rules, which means players can and have received fouls. In fact, 14 times a player has fouled out the All-Star game. Players like Bill Russell, Willis Reed, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, and Hakeem Olajuwon, who actually was the last player to foul out in an All-Star game in 1987. But players like Rick Barry and Bob Cousy have fouled out the game twice. In 1980, a rookie Larry Bird made his All-Star debut. He also hit the first three-pointer in All-Star competition. He also won the first ever three-point contest by walking into the locker saying, "So which one of you is fighting for second?" Which apparently, allegedly, is what Steph Curry did. But we'll go over the winners of that. This year's Slam Dunk Contest will take place during the halftime show, which mirrors the first ever Slam Dunk Contest to take part in an All-Star game. However, it was the ABA's All-Star game. But in 1976, the All-Star Game halftime entertainment was Dr. J, who took home the trophy. The first NBA dunk contest was in 1984, which also featured Dr. J, but also 9 other people, which included Dominique Wilkins, the Human Highlight Reel, and Clyde the Glide Drexler, and one Larry Nance Sr. Then, before the format ended in 2017, the Eastern Conference had won 37 All-Star games to the Western Conference's 29. So unless we go back to that, the East overall has a better record. But you know who has the best record in All-Star game history? Well, I mean, being a captain anyway. So since LeBron has been team captain 5 years running, he's also won every game. He is 5-0. Yeah, actually, I saw a tweet earlier. Well, not a tweet. I saw a quote earlier saying that he hopes he doesn't want to. He can either retire or just not be he can retire being captain, so he can so he can just end it as a 5-0 record.
Wait, what?
So yeah. He said retire from being captain, not actually retire, because he ain't doing that yet until he's beat the league. But yeah, so that was all fun. Yeah, so that's some little fun facts about that All-Star game. So this All-Star game, you had Giannis, who had a perfect game. He didn't miss anything. He went 16 from 16. He was also 3 from 3. Did you hear Reggie Miller go crazy?
Yeah,
when
yeah,
it was like,
was...
don't ruin the game.
Don't do it. No, mind, don't listen to me. I mean,
he hit the glass twice.
I know.
It was
Where's
like,
been for the last? Nah, that's one of them times where when everything's going right, that's just when he hit the glass the first time, I was like, okay, you got lucky, and then you pulled up again. I'm like, what do you do? Oh, never mind.
Also, right, so LeBron played 12 minutes. He's got 4 points, 2 rebounds, 4 assists. He absolutely loved playing
with Steph
in those 12 minutes.
Fam,
he loved it.
Watching LeBron and Steph play together, gave me that thing of like, what would happen if they were on a team together? I was like, it
was crazy. Curry himself had 28 points. Damian had 32 and hit the game winner. Both he and Curry were 50% from 3, and they both had 8. They both made 8. And
okay, I feel like 50% from 3 doesn't really outline the fact that these men were pulling up from anywhere.
They were. Steph Curry was just having fun. He also dunked.
Yeah,
and Chris Paul did.
Mm-hmm.
Who, by the way, had 16 assists, which is a little fun there. Some more Team LeBron stuff. LeBron had the least amount of minutes, not named Rudy Gobert. Rudy Gobert had 13. I think the most amount of minutes was given to Doncic, who had 31. Chris Paul was given 30. I think he was just like, guys, if you want to play, just let me know and I'll throw you in there.
The thing is, LeBron spent more time off on the court saying, no, Dame and Steph, go further back.
Yeah, he was logo. That's not a lie here. Kawhi Leonard almost had a triple-double. He had 8 points, 9 rebounds, and 8 assists. Fun stuff. Kyrie Irving really put in minutes. He had 32. So did James Harden. Wow. Okay. Yeah. Fun stuff. You had Bradley Beal with 26 points. He was a leading point scorer for this Team Durant. Zion started at center because of the injury. No, because of Joel Embiid having to sit out. He only played 14 minutes. Zach LaVine had 30 minutes. You had Donovan Mitchell, nearly 30, had 28. Mike Conley in his first All-Star game. He did absolutely terrible. He hit 16.7% from the field. 20 from 3. Dude, it was one missed shot from Steph Curry from winning the 3-point contest, which, by the way, is so much more exciting than the slam dunk contest.
Who won the slam dunk contest? I didn't watch.
Anthony Simons. I don't know. I just didn't really care. There was one dunk, right? He kissed the quote unquote kissed the ring without kissing the ring.
Nice social distance, and he won up. His social distance for the ring. He was like, basically, I watched the highlights of the. He was at the level with it, but it just
was it supposed to be meta? Was it supposed to be meta, like social distance?
No, he was at the kiss that shit. He just fucked it. What was jokes is I was watching the highlights of the dunk contest, and like they were like, "That's a 10," and they were like, "No, it's not." They're like, "That's a 10." He's like, "If we hadn't seen that dunk by Aaron Gordon like 2 years ago, that may have been." I was like, with the 3-point contest, always it's a simple. It's set your money ball up, set your money rack right, and we'll see who hits. You got to hit it in the time, hit it consistently, and who can get hot and go on a run. So like, seeing Steph hit 31 out of 40 potential points. Perfect.
That was crazy. That was cool.
But watching the dunk contest where after a while, all the best dunks you can think of, you've probably seen already. like We've gone past the like we've had the dunks over people.
No, but they're not
dunks
even
over
doing dunks.
cars.
They're not even doing dunks that like
This was like
wowed us in the
swings.
past.
No, this was just these were like first round dunks the whole way through. Like,
Then you
oh,
had the skills challenge, which is fun. I like this. I'm starting to prefer the skills challenge over the dunk contest. Like Doncic missing that pass, Chris Paul missing a layup. Like you get fun shit like that. That's fun. But yeah, Steph Curry winning that. Like he dedicated to Klay Thompson, who's been injured. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like that's the All-Star weekend, right? I mean,
pretty much. I mean, how many quarters did LeBron win?
All of them. Oh, sorry, he didn't win the fourth quarter.
The third quarter. Wait, it was fourth. Oh no, he didn't win the fourth. They were, but by them rules, he won anyway. So, well.
Oh no, it's 24 points after the last quarter. Sorry,
yeah, it's 24. Kobe.
Yeah. I thought it was 25. I don't know why.
I didn't mean to jump in there. It was 146, 125 at the But yeah, I don't know. I mean, it was good. I mean, the All-Star game, I don't know, like, it's kind of what we expected in it. Like, there was no defense. It was like, kind of like a training drill, just mess around, throw the ball, like, cool. Nothing really happened. Like, I mean, Durant not having Durant or Embiid or half the people that kept dropping out, like.
Yeah, or Devin Booker.
Yeah, I think. I don't know. Like, obviously, it was great to see Steph.
Well, Giannis called game soon as Durant picked the teams, though. So.
Mm-hmm. I mean,
and LeBron is 5-0.
When you looked at that team, and it was like Steph and Giannis, and I was like, oh, well, that's pretty much Steph, Giannis, LeBron, and then like whatever. I was like, don't worry, I've got this.
That's good.
But yeah, and obviously, it was kind of weird because KD picked Kyrie first, and I was like, I joked about that a couple weeks ago.
It's a bad move. I mean, I get it, but it's a bad move.
No, but I joked about that a couple weeks ago.
Clearly not here to win it.
Yeah, but I joked about it a couple weeks ago. I didn't think he'd go first, but I was like, okay, cool. And then
it's crazy to think that you had a team that had LeBron, Giannis, and Curry on the same team. Like, it's bad. It's mad. Along with Doncic and Jokic.
Yeah, plus Dame Lillard on the bench, and like, it's nuts. But yeah, that the LeBron assist to Steph Curry was like, ah, just like here you go. I know you can hit that. But yeah,
I'm not even gonna look. Don't need to worry about it.
I still the idea LeBron came in, did like the first quarter, was like, yeah, cool, and then just like,
yeah, we're good. Can I go home now?
He was on the flight. Second flight.
I don't even know. He was probably on his flight home.
I don't think he might even subbed on for the ending bit. Like he was just like,
Well, yeah, I feel like did he give time to more? Doncic.
Oh no, the way I see it is, if LeBron's been over about that he didn't want to do the All-Star game. So doing your 10, 11 minutes and then make sure that people who've been there for the first time get more minutes, or like.
Did he have any first timers on his team?
I don't know.
He had first timers. No, he didn't have Jaylen Brown actually.
Because I'm not gonna lie, I lost track of the teams once 6 people got injured, 6 people pulled out, and I have no idea who was on what team.
Who had a lot of first timers? Because he had Mike.
Also, Chris
Randall, and he had.
If you're obviously everyone who's selected and then replaced, they're an All-Star, right?
Yes.
So this is gonna be one of the most like All-Stars in 1 year.
Essentially, yeah, probably.
Because you've got your standard what?
Because they're still an All-Star regardless of injury, but
you
also the people who are here made All-Star. So AD gets an All-Star appearance.
Wow, that's a lot. Yeah, that's.
Yeah, it's crazy, man. It makes sense.
Oh, it makes sense, but it's like. It makes sense, but it's like, okay, I'm just checking it.
I wouldn't want to be one of those guys, though, that get picked because of that. Like, I would want to get picked on merit, really. I mean...
Oh, yeah, now, obviously, I want to be picked because I deserve it.
I'll take it.
Maybe, the thing is, if I was first, if there's one injury and I come up next, I'd probably be like, okay, you know what? I was one off. I'll take that. When it gets to 6 or 7 or the day before the game, Ben Simmons and Joel Embiid realize their barber's got COVID, so they've got to jump out. And then you're like, oh, yo, come here. Anyone just come on, jump on the... At that point, one of us could have made it All-Star if we were just there.
DeMar.
DeMar
Hey, young, you live down the road. Trey Young's lives down the road. It's fine.
Yeah, they could literally, but yeah, I enjoyed that. I think
I enjoyed
it,
All-Star
it
Weekend,
was.
but
It could have been a lot worse, and I'm glad that
could have been.
I'm glad the 3-point contest was like really hyped. The All-Star game was kind of a wash, but in a year like this, I wasn't expecting defense. It was really funny that I was watching through, and I was like, no one's in
the last quarter had a bit of defense,
a little bit, but at that point, the game was such a wash that it was like,
yeah,
like,
they were always gonna do a half court three for the last shot. Always, if you
oh,
had
100%.
three to score.
It was when Dame got the ball, and then Steph went, well, that's game over. Bye. Like, because you just know he's where he's pulling from. Like,
yeah, pretty much.
Which is, I mean, last year was more tense and the game was really, really close. This year, not so much. I mean, but yeah, I don't know, like, not much. So I'm like, the 3-point contest was good. Skill challenge was apparently decent. Dunk contest was okay, and the game itself was.
It was a contest, yeah.
Yeah, it was
a dunk contest.
Who won? I actually forgot. Even in the
skill challenge was a bonus. 3-point was Steph Curry and Anthony
Simons. Yeah.
Anthony Simons, yeah. He's from Portland, the Portland Trailblazers.
Portland Trailblazers, yeah.
But you had something. I can't remember who the other. There was only 3 of them.
Obi Toppin and Cassius Stanley.
That's the one. Obi Toppin, Cassius Stanley.
I just assumed. I remember thinking, I was like, oh, because everyone was like really got like, oh, Obi Toppin in college would do this and that. I was like,
Cool. Yeah, yeah. Well, but they're literally because no one else wanted to do the dunk contest.
Also, I like the idea that the commentators literally the whole time were like, "Yeah, you man are fighting for second place, no matter in the 3-point contest." We're like, "You man are fighting for second place." Because Steph's
but it was close though. It was close. I like how close. They were like 27, and they can make Steph think about it.
That last ball, though,
everyone, that last ball was clutch. But it was. I didn't even think. I was watching it. I didn't think he'd go in because he hit the rim at the perfect angle. It didn't make the net move.
I didn't think it went in until I saw Steph's reaction. Just like
an airball.
I was like, he was like, can he win? Like, can he tie it? He shoots. I'm like, did he? But then I saw him walk off, and I was like, happiness or
yeah.
And then I was like, oh,
it's the reaction that Connolly and Donovan Mitchell had, where it's like, no.
And then Tatum got like 17, 18 points in his go. So,
yeah, because he was shook because Steph just had 31.
To be fair, Connolly did 28 and 27, so he had a good. Any other year, any other year, and he's 3-point champion, but not in a year where Steph comes out with the. But yeah,
he's come back to regain his crown.
Yeah, definitely.
And then next year, Klay Thompson will come back and then just take it back.
Oh yeah, that'd be great.
We'll see. Right. So preceding that, we had news that we had Blake Griffin getting bought out, but now he's actually signed for a team. He's signed for the Brooklyn Nets. He joins his best friend, DeAndre Jordan, but along with KD, Kyrie, and James Harden. How do we feel about that?
Fam, what is this Brooklyn Nets buddy system going on? The man just chilling with their best friends. It's like,
I see why they're doing it though. So he's gonna come off the bench because that's why he's getting, and it's to play small. He's gonna play center in a small ball situation.
I think
how he's not a defensive player. They need defense. However, has he been sang back? Last time he played a full season, he was playing like 20 points a game.
Yeah,
he's scoring 20 points a game. This season, he's scoring 12 on really bad efficiency. But is that a product of the fact that he just doesn't want to play?
So yeah, that's for me a lot. Like, I'm like, I know that he wasn't happy. So maybe if he's happier here, this could be a really good pickup. This is one of the pickups where right now for Brooklyn, because of the buyout, it's low risk.
Yeah, it's low risk. Reward.
So the potential is high. Like you could get a resurgence at the right time for you. Like, it's not a long-term pickup, but if you can get the best out of him right now, while you basically Brooklyn have basically gone completely all in. Like the second they got James Harden, it's this season or nothing, and they've just continually done that and more. And then we see that with now Blake Griffin. I think this is if you can make it work for you, then it could be a game changer. So just someone who can, can handle that pressure. And if they can get back to consistency and where he's happy, and then he gets better, then they might be able to find a way to make it work. I mean, it's a lot, and if he is playing the small ball center style, that it's gonna be interesting. Obviously, everything's
they
looking towards
don't
the
have a
playoffs.
center.
Yeah, I know that's the
They
thing.
have Jeff Green. They have Jeff Green.
I assume they'd go and pick up a traditional, but they've gone like Griffin.
Like DeMarcus Cousins, for example.
Yeah, something like that. Like someone who, because they were screaming for needed.
I mean, can they still get DeMarcus? Do they have a roster spot still?
I don't know. We'll have to see. But I think when you look at that, I think they've gone all in. So it's one of them gambles. It's one of them gambles
they do
where
have DeAndre Jordan. My bad. They do have DeAndre Jordan.
Yeah, but that's one.
Plays, so.
But yeah, I think it's a gamble, and I think it's one of them that if it works, then fair play on them. If it doesn't work, you kind of look at them and go, "What did you expect?" I kind of thought he might go to the Lakers because I thought that might.
I didn't think that.
Well,
I thought he. I don't think he was going to go back to the Clippers because he doesn't like.
Because of the buyout thing, I kind of thought he was going to Lakers or Miami. So
I thought Golden State had a chance.
That would have been maybe I don't, but
I don't think he was going to go to Miami.
I was looking at because of the buyout meant there was no trade needed. I was like, okay, he's got the options probably open up more.
He's also injury prone.
He is.
Which a lot of people on the Nets are. Kyrie.
For real.
Harden, not really.
Harden's not so much prone, but he can yeah.
He does get his injuries. DeAndre Jordan, KD. Well, I say he's in KD's injury.
KD's had a big injury, but yeah, it's a that Brooklyn squad is a very weird mix. It's one of them that I'm excited to see what they have, because at its best it could be one of the greatest teams ever created.
Mm-hmm.
At its worst, it could be a team that gets swept because they can't defend.
Then they've got no defense, right?
Yeah, that's the thing.
But yeah, speaking about Golden State Warriors, by the way, they are the top favorites to acquire Oladipo via trade because they want another ball handler. Smart for them.
Mm-hmm.
Because if Draymond is spending time out with a twisted ankle, but also they realize that they just need that for Steph Curry. Because Steph Curry, he works better without the ball in his hands. Sometimes.
Yeah, off ball movement, type of
off ball. I did a whole thing about this.
But yeah, I think that Oladipo, that's something I want to see happen. I think a few games, I feel like they need that type of ball handler who can free Steph up to do what he does best.
And he can score. And
Oladipo is a bucket. You can I feel like that would be a great setup for him, and it would take some of the load off Steph because he can get hot, and that would be. So, but the second I saw that, I was like, yes, let's see that.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, he becomes a free agent at the end of this season, though.
Yeah, but
which if you are Houston and he doesn't want to play there, you trade him to get something. Also, other teams are very aware of the fact that that is true.
But the thing is, if you're Houston at this point, you're 11-23. You're second from bottom in the West.
Get picks. Yeah,
then get picks and just
still worse.
Yeah, they're second from the worst. Timberwolves are the worst, and then Houston are second worst. Wait, where are they in the whole NBA? They're third worst after the Pistons. But yeah, so if I'm Houston, then Oladipo's coming anyway. Let's be real. Just moving for some form of picks, get him out there, and then claim it's a rebuild, and we're going back again, and we'll start over it. That's.
You mean claim it is it's got to be a rebuild.
But, just
it has to be a Houston Rockets fan. A year removed after just acquiring Russell Westbrook.
I think the thing is, if you're a Houston fan, when you saw the Golden State Warrior dynasty starting to crumble with KD was leaving, you knew that the Clay had his injury, and you were like, this is our chance.
Mm-hmm.
Realistically, it's also one of the LA teams. Realistically, we only need to. This could be it. We don't have that super, and then you get Westbrook, and you're like, oh my god, this is it. This could be the thing that puts us over that level.
They went 7 games with a CP3 led OKC, which was amazing for that OKC.
Yeah. And the second that happened, it was very obvious that they weren't at the level that they should have been.
With CP3.
Yeah, and I think when you look at that, obviously if you're a Houston fan, it's gone from we could have been right here, but now it's like, okay, Harden wants out, Westbrook had gone, we got all these things. So let's just strip it back, a new culture, a new start, and just come back a different way. And I think Oladipo, he's there, but may as well get him to Golden State. Give him a chance to actually be in the playoffs.
He's not there mentally or
strengthen. Help strengthen the Warriors. Help them push for fucking the playoffs, and then Houston can just quietly tank.
I mean, imagine you could have Steph, Oladipo, Klay Thompson, and then you got Wiseman and Dre.
Yeah,
like
that's a team right there. Yeah,
that's a team. That's a team. You got Wiggins coming off the bench, bro. That's
Kelly Oubre.
Kelly, yeah, he plays too. He plays basketball.
He also plays the sport of basketball.
Yeah, he plays basketball as well. Yeah. But yeah. Okay. So that's been this week. It's been a bit of a quick one, but there's been not many games.
It's been an All-Star week. I mean,
it's All-Star week. Yeah. When do games start up again? I think there's another.
I can have a look.
I think tonight is another day off, and then they're back on tomorrow.
So the next game will be. The next game back will be the 11th of March. Grizzlies versus the Wizards.
Oh my god!
So next week we'll have a few games to talk about, but not that many.
Wow. Okay. I guess I'm gonna have to think of a good topic for Chris Explains. Damn.
But we are coming back. So in next week we do have. So the Friday we have Nets versus Celtics, Bucks versus the Knicks. We have Pelicans versus the Wolves, Heat versus the Magic, Bulls versus 76ers, Clippers versus the Warriors, Trailblazers versus Suns.
I am excited to see what's going to happen in the second half of the season.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Because the Heat have just had a week off, and they're gonna try and push for this playoff position now because there's just under half the season left. They're gonna really want to push to get that confirmed playoff spot. I don't think they care where they end up. They just want to be in the playoffs.
I think I've said this a lot. I think there are certain teams who
I would want to avoid 7 and 8. I would want to avoid 7 and 8 or 9 and 10 because
you don't want to get the play-ins.
Extra game.
But top 6 is like I'm in. But there are certain teams who need to worry about where they finish. If I'm a Brooklyn, I kind of want to make sure I'm top 2 so that I have to play in team who play one extra. Give me that little bit. But if I'm Miami, anyone, anytime, any place.
That's the mentality. Come on, bring it. I don't care who you are.
The reality is you've got a great coach, a great team, and a great culture, which means that any team that looks and goes, we've got Miami, are going to go, it's rough. And I don't think there are many. There's like, when you look at like the styles that make fights, I feel like Miami are able to mold against any team and find a way to be competitive, which means that they could finish 6th, 5th, 4th, and whoever they get is going to be.
Well, I mean they finished.
It was
5th.
5th. It was 5th last year, and then they beat the Pacers, beat the Bucks, beat the Celtics. Yeah.
And beat the LA Lakers twice.
Which is more than anyone else in the playoffs.
More than anyone else in the playoffs.
Without Goran and who else was out?
Bam.
Yeah, Bam was injured.
Without Goran and Bam.
Yeah, so
2 of the most influential players.
And when you look at that,
it's fine.
Yeah, I know. So yeah,
he's gone 7 games.
When did the playoffs start this year?
I don't know. I don't think they've decided yet. I don't even think they know what they're doing for it.
They set the schedule for the second half of the season. So do we have much? Right, NBA 20. Because I know they were trying to work out when to play all the games.
Oh my god.
Because Adam Silver's declared that, he said that he wants the 2021-22 season to be right back to normal. So the playoffs start. The play-in tournament is May 18th.
Okay, May 18th.
The playoffs are May 22nd to July 6th, and then the finals are July 8th to July 22nd.
Cool.
So we've got 2 months now.
2 months.
So this is the last. It's
Oh
the end
my
of the
god, 2 months. It feels like the last season only just finished.
Yeah, it does. Not gonna lie, if I'm completely honest, a lot of my time it's been like, this is still the start of the season. Basically, until we hit All-Star break, I've been saying this is still the start of the season. Loads of time. And now I'm like, there's only 2 months. Shade.
Yeah.
Well, no time.
Yeah. Well, for now, I guess we're just gonna have to take a time out and see everyone next week on Sunday. Sunday.
This is like Sunday. Yeah,
We
Sunday.
hope Sunday.
Mhm.
Sunday. 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 Sunday.
I've been DC. I'm
I'm in CJ and I'm still here.
gang.